choice, but maybe it'd be better if you go back. You know, your family needs you, things like that. But sometimes there's someone there to give you a choice if you want to return or do you really want to go on. It's your decision. But whenever they decide to go back, they never go all the way to that bright light. I found out what that bright light is. This is why they don't actually die, because they don't go all the way. The bright light is a huge energy source. You may even want to call it God if you want to, but it's a powerful energy source. And when you actually do leave your body and die, you go through that light. And when you go through that light, the silver cord is severed at that time. You're all attached with a silver cord, our spirit, which is the real you, and the body the entire time you're alive. Because every night you go out of your body. Everybody does. The spirit, the real you, imagine how bored it would get sitting around waiting for the body to wake up. The body's what gets tired. The real you doesn't. And so it's sitting around waiting for you to get up. Okay, let's get on with it. As soon as the body goes to sleep, you're out of there, having all kinds of adventures. You're going to the spirit side, you're talking to your guides and your masters and getting instructions, or you're off anywhere you want to go in the world, seeing people, looking in on them, whatever you want to do, or you can go off to other planets, other dimensions. You do this every night, but you don't know it because, well, you're not supposed to know it for one thing, it'd be too confusing. But the only way you remember is if you have dreams of flying or dreams of strange, unfamiliar places. So we're off having all these adventures every night. And in toward morning, when it's time to get back to the body, we are connected with the silver cord the whole time. You're reeled in, so to speak. They reel you back in to where you're back in the body again. Then the body has to wake up and you're ready to continue your daily work. So whenever you actually die, you go through this energy source. At that time, the silver cord is severed immediately by the energy. When that happens, you cannot return to the body again. That's the spark of life. Once that spark of life has left the body, it begins to deteriorate immediately. If you ever watch someone die, you know something's gone, it's left. At that point, the body begins to deteriorate. Then you're on the other side and you cannot come back. The only way you have ghosts, you have people coming back and giving messages, apparitions, but it's not the actual person because they can't come back into the body again. So once you get over there, you're met with great love. There is no hell. There isn't. I've done thousands and thousands of cases. There is no hell. Hell is an invention of the church, and you can see why. It was never in the Bible. It's something has been invented. There is no hell. A loving God would not do that to people. You are allowed to make all the mistakes you want. You're allowed to come back and do it again and again till you get it right. They don't punish you just because you make a mistake and throw you into an oven. It doesn't work that way. You have to realize you have made mistakes. Earth is a school. But it's a school, you come here to learn lessons, but it's a school where you can't skip a grade, but you can have to repeat a grade. You don't get it right. You have to come back and do it again until you get it right. You can't go from kindergarten to college. It's impossible. You have to learn the lessons, and the lessons are not easy. Earth is a school where you learn emotions and limitations. Those are the two main things, emotions and limitations. Those are not taught on other planets. This is a very challenging planet. So you come here to learn these things, and it's all important lessons. I tell people, everyone has bad things that happen in their life. That's life. But what did you learn from that bad thing? If you learned even one thing, that was the reason for the experience. If you say you didn't learn anything, you're going to have to come back and repeat it again, the same circumstance. It's all teaching us something. And that's what it's all about. It's not easy. Life is not easy. The problem is, when we come back, we don't remember why we came for. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, once you get over there, I have found 3 different places that you can go to. Now, you go to the place that you are tuned to by your vibration and your frequency, because you can't go to anything else. You have to be vibrating at that frequency. And as you become more advanced, if you learn more, each time you die, you'll go a little higher and a little higher. Different places over there, because of the vibration and frequency will match as you grow. And you don't want to keep what I call the wheel of karma. You just keep going round and around and around, making the same mistakes. You're not going anywhere. You're not advancing. You're not doing anything. You're just playing the same old game again and again. That's what we have to get out of that rut. So the 3 places that I have found, it's the lower astral is what I'm going to talk about first, the lower astral. And of course, all these places are divided into many other compartments, also depending on your frequency. The lower astral, I don't think anybody in this room is going to have to worry about. Those are those people who we might consider earthbound. They have lived in such a negative life that they don't realize they can go anywhere else. All they know is life. And these are like the ones who are the murderers, the drug addicts, the alcoholics, the ones that they just don't want to come out of where they are, the very negative people. When they die, they don't know they're dead because they think they're still alive. They don't know anything is going on. And they're so confused because they have died in this kind of a condition that they keep trying to get back into bodies, which you cannot do. I have found there is no such thing as possession. There is no such thing as demonics, because the soul is protected solely by a shield. But they will try. And you can be influenced if you're drinking or if you're on drugs. You can be influenced by these kind of entities. But see, they don't realize they have died. And what they're trying to do is get the same sensations they had through osmosis, hanging around people who are drinking or who are on drugs or who are killing people in back alleys, trying to get the same sensations and pleasures they had when they were alive. Well, the greeter, the one who's supposed to take them on, is there, and they're shaking their heads saying, well, when are you going to get, no, I'm here, you're supposed to go on. But they get so involved in it. But after a while, it's like, this is boring. I can't get the same sensations. I can't do it. I can't get back into what they thought they were supposed to get into. It's boring. There must be something more to it. At that point, they look around and they see the one who has been sent to take them on. They said, are you ready to go now? And so they'll go with them. And they're always met with great love, because they know they just went down a wrong path. And all they have to do is they have to go to schools, they have to take lessons on that side so they can be ready to come back again. You come back too soon, you're not ready, because it's that negativity will carry over. So that's the lower astral. And I don't think anybody here is going to have to worry about that, but you should know it's there. The middle astral is, I think, the equivalent of what the churches call heaven. It's very beautiful, it's very wonderful. They've all described it the same way, that there's a beautiful lake, there's hills around the lake, there's all kinds of houses. If you decide your idea of heaven is to live in a house just like you just left, or maybe one that's better, maybe you want to live in a castle, you can have it. Your idea of what is the best, what is your idea of heaven? That's where you will go to. What kind of a house? If you decide you want to spend eternity living in this house with your friends, your relatives who have died, that's your idea of eternity, you can have it. That's what the churches usually talk about as heaven. It's extremely beautiful. There's music in the air. They said the colors are so vibrant that some people who have had near-death experiences bring back that memory of the colors, especially the flowers. There's huge gardens, and the colors are so extraordinary. You've never seen anything like it. And they remember when they come back from near-death experiences, they say, even the molecules of the plants and things seem to be vibrating for a while after they get back because they have that memory of the colors in their mind. And I asked them one time, is that an imitation of Earth, our plants and flowers? And they said, no, Earth is a very poor imitation of what's over there. If you could imagine flowers that never die, roses that are always perfect, that is what it's like over there. So it's extremely beautiful. So they go and they're living with their relatives, doing everything they ever wanted to do, and it's the idea of a perfect heaven. The only problem is, it doesn't last. That's not the way it is. What are you learning if you just had it perfect forever? So after a little bit, a knock will come at the door, and they'll say, okay, you ready to go up and do the review of your life? And they'll say, what do you mean? I'm perfectly happy right here. I don't want to go anywhere. This is heaven. I don't want to go anywhere. So I said, no, that's not the way it works. You know, you've been here for a little while, but now we got to move on. So they take them up to the review board. And there are boards, there are elders, there's masters. They can't tell you what to do, but they're there to advise you. So you go up and look, and they're going to show you your life. They show you everything you have ever done, every word you've ever said, everybody you have ever touched or hurt or anything. And believe me, this is not easy to look at. They're showing it very objectively, but they don't show it just from the viewpoint of you looking at it. They show it from the perspective of everybody you were involved with. You begin to see it from their eyes, from their viewpoint. And believe me, that hurts. Because all of a sudden they'll say, I didn't know I hurt them like that. I didn't know what I said affected them that way. Because, you know, we do that. We go through life. We don't pay attention to what we're doing to people. But over there, you see it. And you see exactly what you've done and exactly the way that affected the other people. I think if more people understood this, we'd be kinder to people, knowing it's going to come back on us, because you don't put yourself in their position. But if you see what you have actually done to that person, then suddenly you say, I've got to repay this. This is what's karma. I can't let this go by. I have to do something to repay what I have done to that person. So then you talk to the other soul. You'll say, well, we didn't do such a good job, did we? Maybe we ought to go back and do it again. This time, you be the husband, I'll be the wife. You be the mother, I'll be the child. Because you can switch roles around any way you want. It doesn't make any difference. It's all a play anyway. It's just a game. It's all a play. I've had people go through the death experience, and when they're up on the other side looking down at it, they'll say, it was just a play. I see all the actors in the wings getting ready to come on and play their parts and put on their costumes. It didn't mean anything. But they said when I was there, it was so intense. It was so much emotion. And I was in the middle of all of this. But they said from over here, it's like a blink of an eye. You can look at it from two different things. We get caught up in the illusion. These are the things that are important for people to know about. And it is just a game, just a play, but we're playing different parts. You have a body, you are not a body. This is just a suit of clothes, I call a costume, you put on to play this part at this time. The next time around, you know, suits of clothes, no matter how much you attach to them, how much you like them, they are going to wear out. You have to eventually throw them away. And when that happens, you just get another suit of clothes, another costume to play the next part that you're going to have to come back and do again. So you have to make these plans, and you have to make your contract with these people Okay, let's go back and let's do it again. Let's try this time. Sometimes they've gone through a series of lives with the same people making the same mistakes again and again and again. And it's finally time to tear up the contract and say, it's not working. Let's just forget about it. We tried, but it's not working. So this is what happens in the middle astral. The upper astral is my favorite place because I love knowledge. I'm so curious. I love research. I want to know more. The upper astral is where the schools are. And the Temple of Wisdom complex is my most favorite place. And you got to remember, in my work, I've heard hundreds and hundreds of people describe these same things again and again and again. If they all describe the same things without knowing what the others have said, to me that gives it validity because it's like a scientific experiment. But they describe the Temple of Wisdom complex. It is composed of many different parts. They're like huge temples. They look like Roman temples with the big pillars. Well, one of the parts that they talked about is the healing temple. And I was told I could do a great service to people to let people know about this because you don't have to die to go there. You can go there in meditation. You can go there in your dreams at night to the Temple of Healing. And they showed me long lines of people lined up. They've just died, and they have to go to the Temple of Healing first, like a cleansing, before they can go on to where they're supposed to go. And as they come in, there's always a guardian of each one of these parts. And the guardian of the temple, the greeters brought the person in. They take the person into the center of this dome-shaped room. And the top of the dome is full of beautiful